Welcome to I Can't Remember Shit, a memory podcast. I'm your host, Evan Barton, and every episode, me and a lovely guest take a topic of my choosing and discuss our favorite and least favorite memories related to said topic. To preserve the subjectivity of memory and to challenge our own brains, my guests don't know the topic ahead of time, which often leads us both to say, I can't remember shit. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a special episode of I Can't Remember Shit. I'm back in the stew with Jerakah. What?
Wait.
We're officially in the stew, I feel. I feel like the studio sometimes is called the stew for me. Mm-hmm. We have important business to attend to on our episode of I Can't Remember Shit, which, you know, is actually dropping today to place people in a time and place. We talked about Mayhem as a concept.
It had not yet been released.
It had not been released.
Which, maybe it was poor timing on our part.
I was just so excited to get you on that I was like, we should talk about a body of work that, like, is out and, like, all of those things. It was literally, like, the week.
Yeah, we couldn't wait, like, 3 days.
3 days. But it's been out, and it's also been out, and we've had some time to sit with it. It's been 3 weeks since Mayhem.
Wow.
And
time flies.
You and I texted each other immediately. I literally did a listening party the night of over Discord with some friends, and baby, I had thoughts. I had a lot of thoughts. And so I felt like it would be apropos for us, Lady Gaga experts, historians, feelers, little monsters, most importantly, to get on here and share some thoughts. Are you excited to do this with me?
Yes and no. Listen, Evan and I don't fight. But I have a feeling we're going to have some fisticuffs.
There's some things that, like, yes, I share your sentiment, and there's a couple of things I want to, like, ground us in terms of, like, how I'm going to approach this discussion.
Okay.
I think for me, like, lyrics for a Lady Gaga song matter a lot to me.
Yes, they do.
And there are certain, like, sounds, like, that are... There's certain, like, musical progressions or, like, chord progressions, sounds, like, I don't know, like, just the production of music that I am also going to be critiquing in this, you know, discussion, as well as the cohesiveness of the album. Those are where, those are really, like, my things that I'm going to approach probably each song with, and then when we talk about Mayhem as a whole, where I'm going to give my ratings of things.
And then I will probably ground my critique in the cohesiveness, the cohesion of the Gaga discography.
Okay.
Right?
Love it.
Because I have some thoughts about where Mayhem fits in.
Yeah.
In the mythology of Gaga.
And I think that's important because she has famously said that every song on the album can be placed in an era of her discography.
Which I think we could do.
I think we can do. And we'll have some guesses. We'll have some things out there. I'm excited to go through it. So do you want to provide some overall thoughts on Mayhem and before we go track by track, or do we go track by track first?
No, we can have like an overall discussion. I will say that I have not been very excited for a Lady Gaga album in a while, right? Like, Chromatica was a really exciting moment. Stupid Love was the first single from that album, and I thought Stupid Love was a wonderful song, and I could not wait.
And it leaked, and it had the hype, and yes.
And I was a little disappointed by, like, Chromatica as a whole. I think that there are songs on Chromatica that I think are, like, perfect, like, top-tier Gaga songs. And then there are songs that I think are, like, bottom tier. Yeah. I feel that way about Mayhem.
Okay.
Which is...
I agree.
A really interesting thing, because I think if you would have asked me, or would ask me now, if there were, like, perfect Gaga albums, like, no-skip Gaga albums, I would say yes. I would say that The Fame / The Fame Monster and Born This Way are no-skip albums.
Yeah.
I
can't name a bad song on either of those, honestly.
Whereas, like, Art Pop, like, Jewels and Drugs is a really bad song. But, like, I think that Art Pop is also, like, a really, it's like a close second, right?
Yeah. as we go on in the Lady Gaga like discography, there are more and more skips. Yeah.
Which it's like, no artist is going to release a perfect album every single time. I don't think that you can expect that from an artist. I think it's a really unrealistic expectation. We talked about this in our
First
OG
discussion,
episode. I guess it isn't even the OG episode because we did one so many years ago. But we talked about this in the OG Gaga episode that I expect way too much from Gaga.
Absolutely,
like, I have very, very high expectations about her artistry, her costuming, like everything. I have very, very high expectations, and that's why I get disappointed.
But I think that's why Mayhem is so polarizing, because you do get some of those moments
where you think it's going to be a perfect album.
Yes, or where you get those like things that you love about her previous artistry. Yes. You get visions of it throughout some of the Mayhem concepts that we've seen in the singles and all of those things. But I think that the payoff of the album, does it stick the landing? I'm not sure.
Tune in to find out.
Tune into our official rating of 2, whatever. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm gonna just say the album's grown on me.
Yeah, you love it.
I do love it. I do stand by. There's really been one song in particular that I was like, no, that's a chop. I don't want to hear it. I don't like it. And then now it's actually like one of my favorites. One of the songs that I like, because I'm dividing Mayhem into songs that I like and songs that I don't like, and it jumped categories. There are still some songs that I do not like, and we will talk about them.
I have a tier list. I have a 4-tier list.
Love it.
And my lower tier is definitely the largest tier.
Okay, interesting. Let's start a track by track.
Okay.
And we're gonna go in order. I feel like, because I listened to this album in order. I
have only listened to it in order. I've never shuffled it.
I listen to many albums in order because I think that there's an intention behind that as an artist and all of those things.
I'm gonna say this now. I think that the first half of the album is the better half.
So
I listen to it chronologically because there's a certain point where I'm like,
where I fall off. Yeah, absolutely. Let's start with the lead single from this album, which is Disease. And I'm gonna, you start one song, I'll start one song, and we'll flip-flop back and forth that way.
You actually might have to do it though, or do the list, because my list is in order of my tiers. It's not
perfect.
In order
I will kick us off with the song, and then you can talk about your thoughts and everything. But we're here at Disease, song number 1. Jerakah, what are your thoughts on Disease?
When Disease first dropped, I remember
we immediately texted.
Yes, we did. But I remember thinking, like, okay, not perfect, but it's a step in the right direction.
Absolutely.
I had not felt that a Gaga single was good in a long time.
Because Die With a Smile was already out at this point.
Spoiler.
We know where that's on. We know where that's in the tier list.
But when Disease came out, I was like, it's a step in the right direction. Like, and since then, I now think it's like one of those top tier Gaga songs. Yeah, I have it on my like amazing tier, right? Yeah. It is a good song.
I like it.
I love everything about it. I don't know if this is a fair critique, because once I like really started going through song by song and trying to figure out what my points of contention were, I then started comparing them to older Gaga songs that I love, and thought that maybe I was being a little unfair.
Yeah, because I don't think this one compares to other songs.
But I thought, like with Disease, I was like, my main problem with it is that the lyrics are way too literal.
I was going to say, I hate the lyrics.
I think the lyrics are way too literal, but then you go back and you listen to the Fame and you're like, well, these lyrics are also very literal.
Yes, yeah.
So I think I was like being a little unfair. Overall, it's a top tier song on the album for me. Yeah. I love it.
Overall, I agree. My only issue with the song lie in the lyrics, and that's just because I feel like there's a couple of like obvious contradictions in what it is, like, or what she's trying to say. And I will quote a couple of them because I think that it's worth pointing out with some examples. Okay, so a disease is not necessarily, does a doctor cure a disease?
No. I don't know.
I think that like a vaccine cures a disease,
Oh,
or like there's
okay.
like medicine that cures a disease.
Okay,
I
so
don't.
you're getting like really specific about it.
Yes, I think that there's some, and this is a little bit of some regurgitation from some Nymph Awards like critiques, but like I agree. I don't really feel like there's a disconnect in terms of like the logic of
Well,
that.
I think I think the metaphor is really weak.
Yes, and then if you were a sinner, I could make you believe.
Sinners believe.
I think sinners don't believe. I think that sinners like actually don't. And then there's one other one that I'm like, let me see if it's coming to me. I'm looking at the lyrics. I guess just the term of like, I don't know. I know smell your sickness is something that people do say, and like certain you put off like
Yeah.
a scent whenever you smell sick or whatever, or if you're sick you lose your sense of smell. It's just like an interesting.
I don't mind that lyric.
Yeah.
I definitely can see where you're coming from. I think my issue with the lyrics is that it's just the Cure.
Yes, I was gonna say this
It's
is
like
like
it's like the dark version of the
it's
Cure.
the dark, yeah, it's
and
the dark
like
version of
not
the Cure.
even that dark.
Absolutely.
And the Cure is a terrible song.
The darkness of the song to me is way better captured in the music video.
The music video is
amazing.
I loved the music video, and it wasn't until I watched the music video that I liked the song.
Yes.
I thought that
It
the song was
absolutely added
predictable.
to
I
it.
didn't think that it was like super great, and then I watched the music video, and then when I started listening to the song again, I could see the music video, which I think is a perfect segue. And if you're done to Abracadabra,
Well, the only other thing I want to say about the song is that like there are parts of the song like the pre-chorus, the like screaming for, like there are some like that was where my brain was like, okay, she's back.
it's great. It's fabulous.
So musically and visually, great song. Lyrically, it kind of loses me a little bit. I do think this is a weaker chorus for her compared to some of the other songs in the album that I really did like.
Yeah.
Just because like it is catchy. I can cure your disease. I can make you believe. Lay you down like 1, 2, 3. There's some fun stuff in it, but I like a lot of her other choruses more in the album. Like our next song, Abracadabra.
I mean, Abracadabra is a Gaga song.
Absolutely.
It is a Gaga song. Maybe it's because she says the word Gaga in the song.
And that's how you know it's a certified smash. She has to say Gaga.
She has to speak some sort of nonsense. I mean, this song is perfect. There is nothing I hate about this song.
I agree. I think that there's lyrically, visually. I mean, let me just talk about too the release of the song. It was like a commercial break during the Super Bowl, which
huge.
is awesome. I think that is like that means she paid a lot of money, and that means I think she knew the return on that would be awesome. Within 12 hours, there were gays in the Philippines doing the dance already. Like it's. And I think
cultural phenomenon.
Cultural phenomenon. I think she has like engaged in her fandom a little bit more through this song.
In the chase competition.
Yes, and like she did this. I don't know. I feel like Abracadabra was truly like the theme of the album. It set the like stage for what I thought Mayhem was going to be.
Well, it made people excited because we talked about this in the last episode, but I was worried. You know, we had been hearing rumors of LG7 for so long, and then Harlequin came out, and I was like, this is LG7? Like, I could not wrap my head around it. And in fact, still haven't listened to Harlequin because I refuse.
I don't think that,
But so when Abracadabra like came out, I mean, it was amazing. It made people excited for the album in a way that I don't think people were.
No.
Because Die With a Smile felt, which we'll get there.
But I was gonna say I said Disease was the lead single, but that was before the track list was released, and I saw that Die With a Smile was on it. I
thought Die With a Smile was gonna be for Harlequin.
I agree. I was like when the track list was released, I was a little disappointed that Die With a Smile was on it because I thought that it was a part of a different era.
Yeah, and like if you want to skip ahead to Die With a Smile, since we're talking about it,
it's the last song. I think it puts a pin in our discussion about like the last half of the album. So we'll get there. Overall thoughts on Abracadabra? Love.
Amazing.
I think it's a great song.
Did it.
I agree. I think it sounds a lot like what I really loved about it, like earlier Gaga Fame Monster Gaga.
I think it's a Born This Way song to me too. Like it is just it's a little goth. It samples, or I think it has an interpolation from a Susie and the Banshees song. Like
Mm-hmm.
it is.
I was
like,
gonna say we need to do that for Disease too.
Yes.
What era is Disease?
What do you think?
I think that Disease is a little bit more art pop to me, and the pacing of the song, like the way that lyrics are delivered and
because it's like
musically.
a little manicure kind of like I think that it's art pop.
And
I think
there being a metaphor in this,
Yes.
like as the dominant
I think
thing.
that Abracadabra is Born This Way.
Is Born This Way. I
Like,
agree.
I think a lot of the songs on this album are Born This Way.
Yes.
That's also my favorite album. So if I like a song, I'm gonna be like, oh, we should go.
I think it's Born This Way.
Yeah.
The next song is, I think.
Oh, wait, but we didn't talk about the music video and the callbacks in the music video to Paparazzi and Alejandro.
Exactly. Which I think is why I get a little confused about like what era this is, but
right,
like
because
it feels
I think
very
it can traverse the two.
Yes, I think it does feel referential of herself for Abracadabra to be Born This Way, having had already done those two songs.
And she like
in her previous
almost
eras.
I mean, in the music video, like she almost looks like she did in the music video for Alejandro. Like it is incredible.
She has the big red hat in Abracadabra, right?
Yes.
Yes. That look is actually like so good.
With the bleached brows. I love her with a bleached brow.
So good. I'm really excited to talk about everything from here on is like the surprise. The singles we already listened to. Everything from here on, I was like not expecting in a lot of ways, and so we'll go into it. Our next song is Garden of Eden. Okay. What are your thoughts on Garden of Eden?
I put it in my okay tier. I guess I should explain my tier list.
Mm-hmm.
I have amazing, I have good, I have okay, and I have bad.
Okay, A, B, C, D.
Yes. And I think that it's in my C tier, right? Okay. Oh no, it's in my
I think it's
it's in my okay tier. So it's in my C tier. I think it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot about it that I hate. I think I really like the verses I really like.
Yes.
I think that it's just a little, and this will be a theme for me throughout all of this. I think that the lyrics are a little been there, done that.
Yes.
You know?
She says, "You're out of candy, I can get you more. Or you start slurring and I start to squeal. I'm falling over in my 9-inch heels. Come on."
Like, okay, sure.
I wish, like, as specific, since we're already talking about lyrics, I wish that it was, I could be your girlfriend. I don't know. Girlfriend for the weekend and boyfriend for the night. Like, there's something about that needed to be gayer for me.
She used to be queer.
Yeah.
Like, she wasn't, but she was.
You could be my girlfriend for the weekend. I could be your boyfriend for the night.
Hello, GUI.
Yes. Like, that is what I was wanting.
All lay down, face up this time.
Exactly. This was the time to do that and to give us, I don't want to say fan service because it's not fan, but give us what we know from her. And she didn't do that with this lyric and that one in particular.
Yeah, I think that this song was very like repetitive of what she has already done, but not repetitive of the things I like.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. Genius's annotation is that it's reminiscent of Sex Dreams, which Gaga states, "Heard your boyfriend was away this week and wanted to meet at my place," which is hilarious. So overall, I would, if I were to tier them, I would put this in my like, not my love. Okay. Probably a B. I like Garden of Eden. It's catchy.
It is very catchy.
I'll to take you to the Garden of Eden. I think she enunciates really weird in that part.
There's something that I do like about this song that she does a couple of times throughout the album. I think when Chromatica came out and my mom and I listened to it together, my mom said something about like she can't speak of a verse or a pre-chorus in every single song.
Yeah.
Like it gets tired after a while.
That's true.
And I disagree with my mom then because I was like, that's just Gaga's trademark, right? Like I do think it's her trademark.
Well, I think she always she tries to have a pre-chorus, chorus, post-chorus. Like there is a structure to a Gaga song that includes that.
And I think that in Garden of Eden, it is like I don't hate that part. It's actually probably like my favorite part.
Yeah. Because the song has layers.
Yeah, it's a layered song. I don't know that I love all the layers.
Yeah.
But it's good.
I agree. I think it is a song that I like. It is not one of my favorites on the album, but it is a song that I like. Even first listen, I was like, okay, I think I'm into this.
I wouldn't skip it.
Yeah.
When it came on.
I agree. What era is Garden of Eden in?
Born This Way.
You think so? Okay.
Because I say that Born This Way is a no skip album, but there are definitely the songs that are not as good as the rest of the album.
Yeah.
Similar, like you get sort of like the back half of Born This Way, which are the songs like
Bad Kids and like Highway Unicorn.
Yeah, Highway Unicorn.
I'm like, I love
I love the hair, right? Like those
Yeah,
songs
yeah.
that are like really good, but that I think they're not the popular ones, they're not the ones that everyone loves.
Yeah.
And I could see Garden of Eden fitting in that sort of
Yeah.
area.
That's true. I think for me, at the beginning, this sounded like, it does feel like Born This Way now that we've talked about it extensively. I felt like a little bit of Fame Monster energy from it, but those songs, those songs I do feel like take you in a different direction in terms of like the metaphor and like the lyrics and stuff.
This was another very predictable song.
Yes, again, I agree. Okay, I'm excited to talk about the next song, which is Perfect Celebrity. What do you think about Perfect Celebrity?
I love Perfect Celebrity.
Oh my god, okay, I don't like
You
Perfect
don't like
Celebrity.
it?
No.
I really like the song. It was actually the first song on the album after the singles that I was like, oh, this is the vibe that we have for the album, right?
Yes.
Like Garden of Eden, when I was going through it, I was like, okay, hopefully this is the worst song on the album, right? And then Perfect Celebrity, I thought was great.
Yeah.
I love a song about the perils of fame.
Yeah,
Like
I agree.
we also talked about this in our last episode. Like Paramore has a song about it. You know, like
Yep.
I love these songs about like being put on a pedestal and then
Oh my god, and I think that idols and musicians are still struggling with that.
Yeah.
Chaperone's getting canceled right now for like all this stuff.
And
Yeah.
I think that in this song, it's not her saying like, treat me like a human, like I'm just a human being. It's actually her being like, oh, you want me to be a perfect celebrity?
Yeah.
Like I will
And like
fucking,
fuck you.
Yeah, like I'll, I really do.
I like the
this
anger
song.
in the song. I was like, I felt like we got good emotion. We got a lot of like, I don't know. In these first songs that were new to me, I was like, oh, we are getting a really good vocal performance from Gaga on this album because she's like doing some stuff. She's doing some things. I think for me, like and this is a carried over critique that started to cement for me that made me not like it as much. It is that like the song at structure and like sound does sound like a soundtrack song to, or like the theme song to a show on FX or something like that, where it's like it's essentially a borrowed vibe. It to me is like where the criticism kind of lies. I do think it's a fun song. I do like the emotion of it, and I do think it's Gaga, so it feels a little different than like,
I put it
royalty-free music.
I put it in my good songs tier. It's in
And
my B tier. It's
B.
definitely not in my A tier.
I would put it in my
B
C,
Okay.
but I do because I will listen to it. I don't think I would skip it, but it's not one of my favorites.
tier. Give it a year. I think it'll grow on you in a
Okay.
year.
Well, speaking of songs that speaking of songs that I hope grow on you, the next song. Oh, where's Perfect Celebrity in
Art pop.
discography? I agree.
Art pop.
I think
100%.
it's right there. I think it's like front half of art pop.
Yeah,
for me.
100%. It reminds me of Swine.
Yes. Okay, our next song is Vanish Into You. I'm going to start with this one because we've slightly talked about this one already in our discussions. I love this song.
Okay.
This song like actually makes me emotional. I know, and you're about to shit all over it. I don't know. There's something about the song that like caught me by surprise in a way that like I really liked it. I like the way that it sounds. I like that it's not the transition from Perfect Celebrity to this song feels really stark in terms of like we're going from lots of emotions to like more raw like vibes from her, and I felt like I immediately understood maybe who she was talking about in this. It felt like a love song to someone.
We've talked about this.
Yeah. It felt like a love song that wasn't necessarily a romantic love, which I think I appreciated a lot about this song. I'm really into Vanish Into You. It made it to the playlist within a day. And And yeah, I'm really into this one.
I love the verses.
Yes.
The verses feel old Gaga to me. I love the melody of the verse. I love the beat. I hate the chorus.
Yeah.
I hate it. I think that it is like, for me, one of the worst Gaga choruses ever.
Interesting.
And it's so devastating for me because I would have told you if Gaga could do anything, it's write a hook.
Yes.
And I do not feel that here. And you mentioned something earlier about.
You're gonna point out some contradictions of me.
Well, no, I disagree in a way. You mentioned earlier that she is like doing, like, she is pulling out the vocals, like she is singing on
yes.
this album. And I
thought
agree.
that this was the one where she was singing.
I don't like it.
Mm.
I'm not saying that she has a bad voice. We all know that Gaga has a beautiful voice.
Yes.
And her voice is very versatile, which is part of the reason why I love her voice so much.
Yes.
The issue for me is that I think that there is a little bit like late stage Brendan Urie happening here.
Yes, I can see that.
Where she is like pushing herself so hard.
It feels like a strain.
It feels like a strain, especially in this song.
Yeah.
And also, it is just not the album for that. Like,
I agree.
I think I wrote
that.
this in my notes, but like, you know, Joanne was the perfect album for her to
Vanish Into You.
so well, right? Yeah. But I just don't think that has a place here. And so I listened to the album like a million times today, and then towards the end of the day I was like, okay, I need a break from Mayhem. And I went back and I listened to the Fame because I always return to Born This Way.
Yeah,
it's my favorite album. Born This Way and Art Pop are the ones that I go back to the most.
Mm-hmm.
But I listened to the Fame today, and obviously her vocals are gonna be different. That was a long fucking time ago, right? And her voice has grown a lot. We've seen her do jazz, like we've seen her do theater, like her voice has grown so much.
Yep.
But when you go back and listen to the Fame, it's so much more stylized.
Yes.
And her voice is still really, really beautiful, but it is, each song has like almost like a different Gaga voice, right? And in this album, I just hear her over and over again hitting these really, really high notes that don't sound awesome in my ears. And I can hear the strain in her voice, and I just think, and this was my critique of late Panic at the Disco, right? Which was that, like, at a certain point, you can't just keep doing it.
Yeah.
You have to save it for the bridge, girl. Like,
yeah.
But so that is the main reason why I don't like this song. Is that I think that it is just her voice, just like, I don't like it in this song.
That's valid. I don't
but
think.
I know you love it.
I know. I think that the emotion of the song overpowers like the technical criticisms that someone could have. I think that this song too has like some melodies and some sounds that I liked. The like like at the beginning and the end, and like I don't know. There's some things that like, redeem it.
Other than Disease, it's like the song that I get stuck in my head is Vanish Into You.
Yes.
Which sucks because the part that I get stuck
like
in my head is the part that I don't like.
Can I? I love it. This one is this one is like in my top for me, and I feel solid about that.
It's in my C tier. It's
good.
It's not in my worst tier because I love the verse.
Okay.
I think the verses are great. I just hate the chorus.
That is very valid. I think we would agree in this. Vanish Into You is a Joanne song.
100%.
And it makes sense. I listened to our episode last night when I was editing, and like you and I both stated we like Joanne.
We love Joanne.
Okay. I think this is where the album really started to. We're knee deep at this point. We're on track 6 when we talk about Killa, featuring Gesaffelstein, and the album shifts for me
it
here.
Does. It's almost a different album.
Yeah, it's like Act 2 at this point. Let's talk about Killa. I want you to go first.
No, I want you to go first.
Oh, okay. I went first on Vanish Into You, but
I love
Killa.
Yeah, I love Killa. You know, you scared me just now.
Yeah, I love Killa. Killa's also on the playlist.
Yes.
I have a lot of thoughts about this one.
A tier.
I think it's A tier. I want to talk about the bridge. The scream. I have done that scream already so many times in my car, and baby, my voice ain't what it used to be. I've smoked enough cigarettes now to can't hit my falsetto the way I want to. But also, she's not hitting a falsetto, so I'm trying to match her freak. But like it like sent shivers down my spine in a way that I was like, oh my God, I love this.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So good. The musicality on the song is what I think is really fun. The references here, we could absolutely go into like the 80s influence of this song. This song to me sounds like a Prince song in a lot of ways. Yeah, I really like this song. What's so funny is I told my sister, and I talk about music a lot, and she hates the beginning of the song. Standing on the corner, smoking that grass and the boys. She's like, I can't get into it because of the way it starts. And that's like, I feel like the only vocal affectation she has on it is in that beginning. I think she transitions into the vibe of the song and her voice like right after that part, but the beginning is a little silly, but I like it.
I like it because what I keep saying is that I miss like the way that she used to have like a really stylized like way of singing, and each song was different. And so I love the weirdness.
Yes,
of
there's
her voice
weirdness in this song.
I love it samples the Fame by or not the Fame, that's a Lady Gaga album, but it samples Fame by David Bowie. You can really hear the Prince Bowie, like you can really hear the funk influence in this song. It is amazing. Her SNL performance of this song was incredible.
Okay, I need to watch that. I should have done my homework.
It was what made me like really love the song, because you could just see her doing it. It's also like, I think that artists are really like getting into this right now. And by this, sorry, I just got a work email. But I need my phone for my notes. I think that a lot of artists are getting into this right now. St. Vincent just released like a really like funk inspired album, and a very like 70s inspired album. Her last two albums actually were very like 60s, 70s inspired.
Yeah, everyone's returning to a form in some way.
And I think that you can really feel that in this song. I think it's fun. I think it's funky. I think it's Bowie. I think it's Prince. I think it's great.
Yeah, and I think those influences are like timeless and like bridge a generation.
I don't necessarily think it sounds like a Gaga song.
Yes.
Which would be my only critique.
Only critique, yeah.
Is that it sounds like a song that somebody else should sing. It sounds like a song that Prince should sing, right? But I think it's a good song, so I love it. A tier.
A tier for me. I'm into it. This is where I struggle with placing it in the discography, because like
sounds nothing
it
like
doesn't
Gaga.
sound like anything that she's ever done before, and so like low key maybe it's like the cheek to cheek era. If you're saying that it doesn't sound like something that you know her to do necessarily in her discography.
Yeah. Maybe it's another movie.
I know. I'm like, maybe it's A Star Is Born. Yeah. So I don't know. Even though it's new for me, I do like it a lot. We're here at Zombie Boy, not so different from the last track, but another song.
Definitely more of a Gaga song.
Agreed. I, at first, struggled to get into this song because it was like, 2 times I've been around that track.
I thought the same thing. It is so Hollaback Girl.
Hollaback Girl immediately, and that for me feels cringe because Gwen Stefani is like a really polarizing like pop star for me. Like even that song is from Love Angel Music Baby, the like Harajuku girls, like full on cultural appropriation era of Gwen Stefani. It was the early 2000s and she got away with it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And say what you will about Gaga, but
she's controversy free when it comes to cultural appropriation, which is really quite something.
We can't even say the same thing for our dear gal Kesha.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
No, there's many girls that can't deny the allegations. And so this song at the beginning, it had me. But I think this song really saves itself in a lot of ways.
I agree.
I think what really turned a key corner for me in this song was that I heard it while I was at Starlight and at Queerlandia, and like that bar is where I typically hear music that sounds like this. And for me to hear a Lady Gaga song, like me and the bimbos, we were having a good ass time dancing to Zombie Boy on the
on
the dance floor, and it was so fun. What are your thoughts on Zombie Boy?
I have notes on Zombie Boy. My first note was Hollaback Girl. It sounds like Hollaback Girl.
Yeah.
There are parts of this song that I do not like.
Yeah.
And then there are parts of the song that I love, which is why it's in my good song tier.
Okay.
It is not in my A tier. It's in my. We've exhausted my A tier. My A tier is
you already
Abracadabra, and Killa. Those are my 3 amazing songs.
Okay.
And
I have one more in my amazing.
I only have 2 songs in my good tier, which are Perfect Celebrity and Zombie Boy.
Okay. Wow.
So
we're going down.
Yeah, we're going down. But I really like Zombie Boy. Don't know that I love the lyrics.
Yeah.
The musicality of the song reminds me of Disco Heaven from The Fame, which is like one of my favorite songs.
Like bonus track,
yes.
like, yeah.
It is such a good song, but the spoken parts of Disco Heaven remind me of the spoken parts of Zombie Boy. So I found myself, and I liked the song. It was already in my like good tier, my B tier. But then when I went back and listened to The Fame and I was listening to Disco Heaven, I was like, okay, wait a minute. Like, maybe this is a little bit of a callback.
Yeah.
I also think, what did I write? I love her weird voice in the song. Like, this is that stylized voice that I'm talking about. I love this part of her. And
which she really does in the verses, I feel like.
I don't love the chorus. But what I wrote in my notes is I don't love the spoken chorus, but that's mostly because I usually love her spoken words in the pre-chorus, which is so nitpicky. This is what I'm talking about when I say that I have like really high expectations.
Put that thing down, flip it in reverse.
Is that exactly. Yeah. Is I'm like, actually, maybe if you just move this to a different section of the song, a different beat, then maybe I'd like it. But I really, really like it. I also think that Killa and Zombie Boy are very much in the tradition of Monster and Teeth, which I like and also don't. I think that, again, like I went back and I listened to The Fame today, and Monster is one of my all-time favorite Lady Gaga songs. It is like one of my favorite songs. So and Teeth, I got to see live at the Born This Way ball, and the production of Teeth, which, you know, is a good song, but I wouldn't say it's one of Gaga's like most popular or even most beloved.
No.
But that song, she like fucking cares about this song, Teeth.
Yes.
And so when I was listening to Zombie Boy, I could tell that there were the same motifs and sort of like the same like kind of overall vibe, but I don't know that it has the same
weight
impact
to it.
the same weight. And so for that reason, it's not a perfect song for me. Like, I just think that it's a little, I can't even say kitschy because she's always been kitschy, but like, it's just not, it just doesn't hit the same, but I like the song.
I like the song a lot. I think I agree with you. For me, the lyrics, like, I don't know. I wish she would just say, like, in the chorus, the lyric is, I could be your type from your zombie bite. And I don't know if you're going to say, like, I guess zombie is, like, one of those words that, like, you can always put a different noun after it. But, like, the title of the song is Zombie Boy. So I'm almost expecting the title to be in the chorus. And, like, I wish, it was confusing to comprehend the lyric. Yeah, and maybe that made me not like that
also,
part of it.
Also, it's just kind of like, oh, so what's the zombie boy? You know, like what are we talking about? And that's maybe my issue with a lot of
the songs.
Is like, what are we talking about?
Yeah,
you know, like,
because I don't really know what a zombie boy is.
Like, and I also don't think that Gaga's always been corny. Born This Way is one of the corniest songs ever written, but we fucking love it, right?
Yeah.
And part of my critique for this whole album, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but part of my critique of the whole album is that, and I'm gonna get canceled for this because you know, there's this whole debate right now about how Gen Z and like the culture think that it's cringe to be sincere and genuine.
Yes.
And being sincere and genuine are actually like the reasons for living, right?
I agree.
Like, you have to be genuine. You have to care about things in order to get through the day. If you don't care about things, then you like are not a happy person, right? But I think in this album, she's a little too genuine.
Yeah.
I think that there is like no camp except for in some of the songs we've already talked about.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, this after this song is when the album sort of falls off for me. and there's just no camp in it. And Zombie Boy feels like a song that should be camp.
That should be camp.
And
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah, the camp was definitely in the first half of this album. Okay, let's go to. We're halfway through, and
it'll go quick for me.
I know. It's like
from
these.
here on out.
There's a couple of songs that I will be the voice in the room for. But this next song I'm actually really excited about. Let's talk about Love Drug. You hate it. You go first.
Okay, this song is boring as fuck, dude, is what I wrote down.
Interesting.
And that's literally all I have to say. I just think it's a boring song.
Okay, interesting.
And I'm sorry to say it so mean like that. I didn't mean to say it so mean.
No, it's okay. I love this. This song is in my A tier.
In your A tier?
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I think because like it I don't know. For me, like before I talk about Love Drug, where's Zombie Boy in this
Art
Gaga?
Pop? Maybe the Fame Monster?
Yeah, it's tough. I'm like,
I don't think it's as good as any of the songs in those albums.
I just want to put it early on because it sounds like a song from the 2000s in a way,
Yeah.
but like that was influenced by even earlier sounds. So
Yes.
like for me, it feels almost, but the Fame was so not that. I feel like the Fame, I love the Fame because it was so unique and so 2000s, but not very
Not stuff from-
referential to prior years or genres of music. Anyways, Love Drug, to me, I love this song. I think the reasons that I like this song are that Love Game is one of my favorite songs by Gaga.
Yes.
And for me, like, there is something about, like, this. I think the musicality of the song, the melodies, and the that's what I like about the song a lot.
But it's just like it has none of the bite of Love Game.
Exactly. I mean, that's obviously more of a sexual song and all those things. I think that like I guess I don't really have a lot of words for why I like this song, except for like I listened to it and immediately was like, okay, I really like this song. Like there's something about the way that it hits my eardrums that's just like, yeah, this is a good Gaga song for me. I like Love Drug.
Yeah,
It got me.
Know what? I'm not gonna take that away from you.
I drank the Love Drug immediately.
I'm not gonna take that away from
I
you.
feel like this song is a little bit for me it kind of feels a little bit like Ally Mae, Star is Born.
The first Gaga song that I ever thought was like really bad was The Cure, which is not on an album. It's just a single, and it is one of those songs that like when it came out, I was like, oh, anybody could have written this.
Yeah, and I think that anybody did.
And I like I'd never felt that way about a Gaga song before. And for me, like Love Drug and some of the other songs on this album just feel like something somebody else could have or should have sang.
Interesting. That's valid.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I love you.
We are at the point where I do not feel strongly about the rest of the album.
Okay, then we're not gonna fight the way I thought we
It
would.
really was just Love Drug that I did, and I don't really have a lot of explanations for it.
It is in my D tier.
D tier, interesting.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
it's definitely in my A. It's fun. It made the playlist the week of, and yes. Okay, I'm excited to talk about this next one.
What's the next one?
The next song is "How Bad Do You Want Me" by Lady Gaga.
Can I leave?
No. Okay, I'm gonna start with this one. I have a lot of thoughts on this one. I hated the song when I first heard it. I hated the song when I first heard it, and I was hearing and seeing everyone on Blue Sky, because I'm not on Twitter anymore, on Blue Sky and Instagram, like loving this song and like living for it and be like, oh my God, this, like, I love How Bad Do You Want Me? Like, oh my God, like perfect album. And I was like, This song immediately turned me off because it sounded like someone else.
Well, we know exactly who it sounded like.
It's Taylor Swift.
And we are not the first people to say that.
No.
Everybody agrees that it sounds like Taylor Swift. There is even a part in the song where it's like the it sounds like her voice. It sounds like Taylor Swift's fucking voice, dude. And okay, so here's what I wrote. I actually love the synth. When the song starts, I really like the synth.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I really like it. I hate the rest of it. I hate the lyrics. I hate
it feels
the melody.
like Jack Antonoff.
Unfortunately, if Taylor Swift wrote this song, I would fuck it.
You would love it because you're a Swiftie.
I would love it because I am a Swiftie. You know, I have read my reservations about being a Swiftie. I'm a critical Swiftie. But I'm a Swiftie. And I think that everyone says it, this song is from 1989.
Yes, 1989.
And I think that if this song was sung by Taylor Swift on 1989, I would love it.
Everyone, yeah.
But because it's sung by who I have in the past believed to be like a god of music, it is bad.
Yeah. I think that the only thing that has warmed me up to it after multiple listens is that it's catchy. And I like a catchy song. I think that it is fun to sing the part of the chorus where she goes, "You like my hair and my ripped up jeans. You like the bad girl I got in me." Like, there's some of that.
Well, because that's the kind of
fun.
thing that Taylor Swift would sing. I mean, it's literally just like.
But I got a tattoo for us last week.
It's just like blank space.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like.
And all right.
It's like this whole idea of like being a bad girl, being a crazy girl, and it's like, Gaga, like. You've probably done like every drug. Like we know that you are actually crazy, but I don't understand why you are trying to prove that to us with a song that sounds like it was written by like a 13-year-old. Yeah,
I don't like fundamentally at the end of the day, you do lose me when you sound like when the song sounds like a copy of someone else's entire sound. And like I can appreciate a cover and similar sound is there, but like
and I mean it's different from like pulling from Bowie or Prince, right?
Yes.
Like
those are samples. Those are like musical layering.
And you're clearly inspired by a genre.
Yeah.
This is you literally writing a song like for Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift didn't want it, and then you said, "Okay, I'll just sing it on
the next album."
Yeah, it's bad. It's in the D tier.
Yeah, it's a C tier for me because I have warmed up to it a little bit, especially after hearing like Everybody Love It and all this stuff.
You can't give into peer pressure.
I know I'm peer pressured a little bit, but I like some parts of it. Some listens, I'm like, okay, this isn't the worst song ever, and it's definitely not the worst song on the album.
It's definitely not the worst song on the album. I wonder if we're gonna agree about the worst song on the album.
I think we will. How Bad Do You Want Me is absolutely sung by Ally Main in A Star Is Born.
Oh yes,
to me,
100%.
It's right there.
And it's like, sorry, we're not gonna get into a thematic analysis of A Star Is Born.
I agree. All right, our next.
Maybe that's our next episode.
Literally.
Oh my god, maybe our next episode should be talking about all the Gaga movies.
All the movies. Oh my god.
Wait, we should do a music video episode. Okay,
oh my god, I love it.
Okay.
Our Gaga podcast. All right, so the next song is "Don't Call Tonight," and I want to first say that the first thing I heard from other people when they listened to this song was that it sounded like Alejandro to them.
My only note for this song is just as boring as Love Drug.
Interesting.
I like don't even know if I could tell you what this song sounds like before you play it because it was so like not memorable to me.
All right, here we're gonna listen to a little bit of it. We heard a little bit of it just now. I think that like overall this is a C tier song for me. I don't hate it. I have way stronger feelings about other songs on the album. I think the part of the song that I like a lot is the bridge, and that is like. The lyrics are driving home to your favorite song and you scream so loud because you're all alone. Like, and it's like, that actually sounds like 80s inspired and things like that. It's not one of my favorites because I don't feel like I understand where we're going with this, like, song. The message to me is like
generic,
a little generic. Yeah. It's like, I'm mad at you. So like, don't call me. Like, I don't know. I just feel like some Gaga songs like have more bite to them.
Well, this is what I'm talking about when I say that I think she's too genuine. Like, I remember when Lorde broke up with her boyfriend and we were all like, yes,
a good album.
Like, finally. And I kind of like feel like, oh my God, Gaga's in love and like now we have a shitty album.
Yeah.
I don't actually think it's
He
a shitty
wrote,
album.
I don't know if you know this, but her husband or spouse or
Partner,
fiance
whatever the fuck.
is a co-writer or producer on many of the songs,
Well, and
which I have a lot of thoughts
and
about.
here's the thing, is he was also the one who convinced her to get back in the studio with a pop album. And that pissed me off so much when I read that headline because I was like, oh, him? Not your millions of adoring fans that have been begging you for years?
This tech CEO that you love.
And here's the thing. The reason that this song is in my D tier, like my final bad, I don't like it, don't think it's a good song, is because this is one of the first times that I've ever like felt that Gaga songs were boring.
Boring, yeah. I agree. I felt like this one was boring to me.
In Gaga's discography is as bad as bad.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it didn't take me anywhere. And it makes me want to move on.
Let's do it.
To the next song, which is Shadow of a Man. And I will start with this one.
Okay.
This song, like, caught me by surprise again in the latter half of the album because I was like, okay, we're back in Zombie Boy, kill it part. Like, in some ways I wish this was higher up on the track list so that like I could have experienced it in that progression, because to me this is like, I think that the comparison has been drawn many times, but like this song sounds like a Michael Jackson song. This song sounds like a Weeknd song, who is heavily inspired by Michael Jackson. And I liked it. It in a lot of ways. It again falls into that category of like, I do feel like it could be sung by another person and maybe sound better. But I do like this song does have a little bit of campiness to me.
Yeah, I agree.
That I did enjoy. And I think that the purpose and message of the song is a lot stronger than like some of the other ones that we haven't liked. Like Shadow of a Man is, I don't know. It's a stronger message, but it doesn't necessarily a message that makes sense for Gaga, because the message is that she's always been in like the shadow of a man in her career.
But she hasn't.
But I don't feel like she has.
I mean, Taylor Swift has a similar song.
Yeah.
Where it's like, girl, you're the. Well, I mean, I guess Taylor kind of has had a lot of like male adversity.
Absolutely.
In her career, but like,
I don't know what Gaga's male adversity is, and because she's definitely paved her own way.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. You're like one of the most like powerful women in the world when it comes down to it, but
maybe that's a little monster perspective.
And also, I'm like really not interested in that critique of this song, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's not that Gaga has shied away from making political music, because obviously Born This Way became like a fucking tagline in our community.
In the LGBT community.
But it's not that she's strayed away from politics, but I wouldn't say that she's been like heavily active in that kind of stuff. And so for me, I don't even really think that it's a fair critique for her or of the song to be like, you know, like, oh, it's like a
what
feminist...
adversity have you faced,
yeah,
Gaga?
Or to be like, oh, but it's a feminist anthem, because like I also like don't really agree with that.
A feminist anthem should not have man in the title.
Yeah. I think that it I put it in my C tier.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad song. I think for me it's I actually wrote, is it better than Garden of Eden? Like, I think that they might be like on level playing field for me. So I like the song. I don't love the song.
Yep. I'm struggling on placing this in an era also for me. It doesn't really... It kind of feels like Ally Main in some ways, but like it's more musically inspired by some of the songs that we put in like
Born
This Way era in some ways. So, okay, this is like really where we like go down in the dumps.
Yeah,
for me.
like we can rapid fire it.
Absolutely. The next song is The Beast. Chop.
Oh,
I hate it.
No, actually, I can't rapid fire this song. This is the stupidest fucking song
I hate The Beast
that she's ever written.
I agree.
This song is dumb as hell.
Yeah. I also think the next one is bad too.
I literally was laughing my ass off when I heard this song. Like, she literally in Love Game said, "Don't think too much, just bust that dick.
Yeah.
I want to take a ride on your disco stick." And now
she'll only refer to a cock as a beast.
like, hello? I think that she's trying to also, like, obviously the beast, like, we're supposed to have like this is an allusion to Beauty and the Beast. Like we're supposed to have this sort of like, I don't know, maybe we're supposed to like feel a little like Stockholm syndrome kind
Yeah.
of like situation.
It's a theatrical song. It feels like it's in a movie
But I
to
also
me.
think that like, you know, she's hearkening back to the zombie boy thing. She's trying to do like a little werewolf motif. Unfortunately,
It
it
falls apart
doesn't
for me.
work. The
Yeah.
song is laughable how bad it is.
I agree. I think the pacing is off in some of the songs and the way it builds. I don't like the vocal performance really that much. She goes, let's see, there's one line where I wanna feel the breeze inside. Like I don't know. And then as the choruses go on, she like ramps that up to just like have more energy to it. And I'm like, these lyrics are just not.
I'm like,
it.
what, when the clock strikes midnight?
11:59.
Like, what am I supposed to think about that?
Your heart's racing and you're growling, and we both know why. Like that is like a line, and I no, I'm over it.
It's bad.
It's bad.
She used to have sex in a gutter.
Yep. The Beast, Chop.
Bad.
And the first time I heard it, I said
Bad. Also, we know who your man is now. Like,
Exactly.
that's gross.
that. Ugh. Okay, Blade of Grass,
Boring.
Chop.
Boring.
Hated it. When I first heard this song, and this was a song that I was like excited for because I don't know, there was something about like the inspiration of like their engagement. A blade of grass is supposed to like represent her finger, and like she will take
wedding ring.
yeah, she will take a simplistic gesture for love.
He's so poor.
Exactly.
He can't afford a ring, so they have to use a blade of grass. Sorry. Boring. Boring.
It's boring, and I think it's like the metaphors like fully fall down for me in like this. I don't know. I don't get what a blade of grass is. Something that is sweet that needs to stay in the bedroom for you, Gaga. Like
I don't know. I think like, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, I am happy that she is in love. I am happy that she's in love.
Yeah.
I don't want her to be miserable forever.
No.
And we can't expect
and she's
her
gone through heartbreak.
and we can't expect her to be like a kinky bitch forever, right?
Yeah.
Like bitches in her 30s, right? Like
Well,
she's gonna
I mean,
grow up sometime.
we do say that, but like Madonna is a 70-year-old kinky bitch doing BDSM on the stage. Like
I think that
I know they're different.
a lot of this song actually, or a lot of this album actually, I heard a Madonna influence. But I think that like this level of like genuineness, while I think that Gaga has like every right, you know, to do that. One of the things that we talked about in our last episode was the idea of like Gaga as a persona.
Yeah.
And I think that if she wanted to write really personal love songs, she should have put out a solo album.
Yeah.
Or multiple. That's fine. Retire Gaga if you have to. But I just think that, you know, she used to write about wanting to be famous. She used to write about, you know, like Money Honey, right?
Mhm.
Like Beautiful Dirty Rich. She
Yeah.
used to write these songs but that was when it was popular to idolize wealth. It is no longer popular to idolize wealth. It is actually like if she released an album like that now, it would feel really tone deaf, right? So I don't think we can expect her to recycle the same themes over and over, but
and us love it.
And for us to love it. But I do not fuck with like the whole like put a little blade of grass around my ring finger and we'll frolic into the sunset. Like, girl, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm
It's another Ally Mae song.
Yes, absolutely. This is such a like I don't even remember what the song is she sings at the end of that movie when he dies.
I will always remember.
I will always remember us.
Which for a long time was one of her most popular songs on Spotify, and like it made me so upset.
That song frustrates me because of how long the title is. I know that there's I write sins, not tragedies, and lying is the most fun a girl can have without taking your clothes off.
So
Another
Brendan Urie references in this.
I know another example of like a long song title, but like at least that's good. Okay, our last song. I have thoughts on Die With a Smile that exist pre-album and post-album.
Okay.
And I will be concise in them. Die With a Smile, to me, does not fit on this album.
No.
And that being said, I like the song.
It has grown on me.
I like Die With a Smile a lot. When I first heard it the first couple of times, it made me emotional. And watching the video was a little emotional for me too, because like I think her voice is, I love her voice, and she's paired with a powerhouse vocal like Bruno. If anyone was going to be featured on a Gaga song, it feels like someone like Bruno Mars actually makes a lot of sense because they are a really strong vocalist. But I really liked this song for the like pop like commercial success around Harlequin that wasn't in it but around it. I liked it for that moment. I do not like it on this album.
No, I don't. It's on my D tier, but I will say that I don't hate this song, but I think it's a Bruno Mars song.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is a.
Yeah, she's featured on it.
It's Just the Way You Are.
Yeah.
You know, it is not a Gaga song. It is a Bruno Mars song.
He's absolutely the majority vocalist.
He starts
on
the
that.
song.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just don't think it's a Gaga song. I don't think it should be on this album. I don't think even we talk about like there being like sort of two separate albums in this album.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a third.
Yeah,
it does not fit. It's not cohesive. I thought the music video was nice. I thought she looked beautiful. I liked the colors.
She cracks me up in that music video. She like chain smoking in that music video. It's
she looks,
so
funny.
Listen,
she looks great. They're about the same height, the two of them. So, they fit
They're both
well.
5'2".
But I'm just like, I again, when the song comes on at work or whatever, I sing it. I think it's a really catchy song, but I think it's catchy in the same way that Just the Way You Are or Grenade is
Grenade,
catchy.
exactly. Because he's a good vocalist and he writes good music.
It's a song that they would sing on Glee.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And not in a Gaga episode, you know what I mean? It's a song that Rachel Berry would sing. So.
Oh, scathing. But yeah, that wraps up our track by track discussion of Mayhem. I think that let's wrap it up with our final thoughts on the album as a whole. I'm going to give it a ranking out of 10.
Can you give me a example of perhaps your favorite Gaga or different Gagas and where they rank on a scale of 1
Born
to 10?
This Way is a 10.
Perfect.
Fame Monster is also a 10. Joanne is like a 5.
A 5?
I think Joanne's a 5 because I don't have anything lower than 5. Well, I guess that's not true. The Star is Born is kind of like a 4
well,
3.
I don't count those.
Okay. Cheek to Cheek and that stuff is like a 2.
Yeah, I don't count those.
Okay. Yeah, it like a 5 is actually like, I don't know, I'm like rounding up and scaling or whatever. Maybe Joanne's a 6. I don't have I struggle with failing anyone.
We also didn't prepare for this, but
yeah.
I just wanted to know compared to the others where it ranks.
Compared to the others, this is like it's under Chromatica for me.
And where
Chromatica is
you liked Chromatica.
Well, fuck, I'm like struggling with putting everything in. It's the 2 beers.
Let me go first.
You go first. I think you have a better
a 10 is Born This Way. I think that Fame Monster is a 9.
Yeah.
I'm also nostalgia plays a really huge deal in all of this, but right.
Absolutely.
But Born This Way is a 10. I think that Fame Monster / The Fame, I kind of combine them, is a 9. I think that Art Pop is maybe like a 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
Joanne is probably a 6.
Okay.
Maybe a 6.5.
I love that you were baffled by my 5.
Well, I thought that you were like a Joanne
stan.
I thought that was one of your albums. And then I left out Chromatica. Chromatica is probably a 4 for me.
4 for you.
Which is hard. I mean, it might actually be a 5 as well because I think similar to Joanne, there are songs that I don't like. There are a lot of skips on those albums for me, but the songs that are good are really, really good.
Yeah.
So that's where I stand. And then so if I have to put Mayhem in that ranking, I think I would have to give it a 4. Maybe a 5. God, do I like it less than Chromatica?
I know that's what I'm struggling with as we're laying this all out because
I think it's probably even
equal.
to Chromatica for me. I think it's probably a 4 or a 5, given that the songs that I really like, but I think that the songs that I don't like, I think are
it really drags it down.
Some of the worst Gaga songs.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there with you. What's funny is we thought this was going to be contentious, and we
Oh, we
ended
thought we were
up.
gonna fight.
This
Because-
is it. We ended
well,
up saying the
because-
same things about the same songs.
Well, when we saw each other last night and we talked about this, and you were like, "I'm so excited to talk about it. Like, I love this album." And then
I've been
was
giving
like,
you mixed
and
signals.
I was like, "Oh no!" And then today, when I was listening to it again, I was like, "Fuck, I don't think I like it."
Yeah.
But again, after we've talked about it, I realized that like there are a lot of things I really like, but there are more things that I don't.
Yeah. I'm there with you. I think that for me, if the album has like four or five songs that I don't like, it ends up being it gets dragged down a lot.
Yeah.
And that's 4 out of 14, so it's not even like it's passing if I like more the majority of them. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I am still listening to it, and that the staying power is there, but I'm listening to the ones that I like. I am not listening to Blade of Grass. I'm not even giving those songs another listen.
No, and I think that the only songs that will actually make it onto a playlist for me will be Abracadabra and Disease. I did start to craft a list of the best Gaga songs ever.
Mhm.
I won't read it because obviously it's long, but today I was listening to So Happy I Could Die. And can
Oh
I
my
just
God.
say, that's like a perfect and very underrated Gaga song.
It's
an
one of my
amazing
favorites.
song.
It's one of my favorites ever.
Love that.
Jerakah, thank you for doing this with me again. I do feel like there's no other person that I would invite back twice within 2 weeks to talk about our topic of the week again. So I love fruitful discussions and meaningful discussions about media and about our faves. So I love you so much, and thank you.
I love you so much. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. I'll see you probably tomorrow.
Yeah, well, we have plans.
Okay, love you.
Love you, and thank you so much for listening to this episode of I Can't Remember Shit.
Bonus episode.
Bonus.